Hello, Stephan here with Liquidity with the question, what is the German genitive case?
Liquidity.
The short answer to the question of what is the genitive case is that it is the possessive case. But that may not be enough. That may not be sufficient or satisfying to a lot of people. So here is an overview of the genitive case, of grammatical cases in general, in particular in German, and then also a few examples. Languages that retain inflections, that means modifications to nouns or pronouns, usually at the end, are said to have grammatical cases. English still has a little bit left over from a time when English, just like modern German, had 4 cases. For instance, let's look at the pronoun they, them, their, theirs. Usually English uses the apostrophe s to describe a possessive relationship. Pronouns, on the other hand, do not have an apostrophe s, and that's a holdover from a time when there were no apostrophes used in English. So now the apostrophe s replaces the erstwhile use of the genitive case in the days of Old English and Anglo-Saxon. So let's take a trip back about 1100 to 1500 years into the past and look at this short excerpt from the story of Beowulf, written in Old English in Anglo-Saxon. Beowulf mathelode, bearn echtheois. Bear in mind, both Beowulf and Echtheo are personal names, albeit descriptive names. I will leave Beowulf just as it is, largely because it is a well-known name. But just in case you wonder, it basically means he who would be wolf, or literally wolf beer, somebody who is a wolf, maybe even a werewolf. Now that would be really cool. I'm waiting for Hollywood to pick up on that idea. I'll modernize Echtheo, which literally means sword servant, into Edgethane. I'll translate him into German as Klingendiener. Basically, we're talking about someone serving under arms with a sword, literally. A soldier or a warrior serving probably some kind of ancient warlord or other big cheese. Mathelode is the past tense for mathelian, which simply means to speak. That reminds me of 2 similar German verbs, melden, which means to report, and ausmalen, to illustrate. But I don't know if any of these 2 words are actually related to mathelian. Bairn is still used in Scotland for wee ones, for children, just spelled a little bit different. All 3 major Scandinavian languages, Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish, use the word barn for child. So you can see connections there. One could therefore translate the sentence into modern English as Beowulf, Echthene's child, spoke. In modern English, we could also say child or son of Echthane, or if we were of Celtic origin, Scottish or Irish, maybe Mec Edgethane, or Edgethanison, if we were Scandinavian. These inflections are very common throughout the British Isles, and of course many languages have variations like that. The sentence could be translated into German as Beowulf, des Klingendieners Kind, sprach. You can see here the grammatical similarities between these 3 related languages. Let's look at another example, this time from modern German. Ich gab dem Pferd des Hundes Apfel. In English, we would probably say, I gave the horse the dog's apple. Here we have all 4 German grammatical cases represented. We have the subject, ich, which is in the nominative case. The indirect object, dem Pferd, is in the dative case. Dem is the dative article for singular, neutral, or masculine nouns. The possessive add-on, des Hundes, is in the dative case. Des is the genitive article for singular, neutral, or masculine nouns. The direct object, Apfel, is in the accusative case. Since the genitive case is often a bit cumbersome in German, for Germans, very, very commonly, more often than not, Germans actually use a von construction. So please don't feel like you have to be very comfortable or fluent with the genitive case. As long as you know what it is and you see it written, and usually it is in written form, you should be in good shape. Don't feel like you have to fluently be able to package it into your conversations. Most people just use von, which in this case works just like the English word auf. So instead of the previous example, ich gab dem Pferd des Hundes Apfel, I would more likely say, ich gab dem Pferd den Apfel vom Hund. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give it a like. Check out my other videos if you enjoy them, if you find them helpful. Please subscribe to my channel. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, morning, whatever time of day it is when you're watching this video. Take care. Mach's gut. Tschüss. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye. Tschüss.